Today we have a very special guest with us, Vlaicu Crisan, who is a Romanian international master of both chess composition and chess solving. He has won the FIDE World Cup for chess composition many times, along with having judged it also. He's been a judge of the FIDE album. He's currently the fairy editor of Problem Paradise, a Japanese magazine, and he has been a mentor for me for very long. So it would be great if you could welcome Vlaicu Crisan with us, who is going to share his wisdom and knowledge on Helpselfmates today. Hello, Vlaicu. It's a honor to have you on this channel.
Hello, amigo. I'm glad to be invited. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And so, could you tell us what we will be doing today and what positions you have in store for us?
For today, I have prepared for you to solve some help self-mates. These are some chess compositions which are actually a combination between help play and self-mates. That means the first part of the solution, white begins and collaborates very well with black, but the final aim is that white forces black, obliges him to give mate in one in the last move. And as you will see, these hard self-mates provide some interesting challenges for the solvers, but once you get the trick, you will see that they are not that difficult to solve.
Okay.
All the examples I have provided have been given more or less as examples in the Romanian Suica notes, so they have some didactical value. And so you will enjoy solving them.
Okay. I know I will be enjoying them because you have prepared it. A master of Help Selfmates and someone who introduced me to Help Selfmates by showing his amazing compositions. And yeah, he mentioned the Romanian Zuica tourney, which is a very famous Help Selfmate tourney, happens every year. And you have prizes as well in it. And it's part of the World Congress of Chess Composition, which happens every year around the world. So yeah, you can check some of those out in the description below. I'll be linking them. But right, what do we have in front of us? What is this composition?
So the first composition is a half self-mating tree with two solutions. The first two moves white and black collaborate, and in the last move, white suddenly changes his mind and forces black to keep mate in one, self-mate in one.
Right.
So your challenge is to find out which are the moves that can lead to this kind of unexpected ending.
Right. Okay. So it is first white plays, so it goes white, black, white, black, white, and then black checkmates. White forces black to checkmate. And we see that, well, it's white's turn to move, but black has pretty much only one option, which is to move this black pawn forward. So I would presume it's moving the rook somewhere, maybe like a rook d8 or something, so that there is some breathing space. Perhaps a promotion happens. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the mating position would be because the king is stuck, so perhaps it could be a checkmate along the last rank. Hmm. Ooh, okay, so I just got an idea. Perhaps it's something like a king d1, there's a rook promotion, knight goes there, rook a2, and then the knight goes somewhere, and then black is forced to play moves such as rook a1, which would be checkmate. But of course, here it doesn't work because black can also play king b2. So, hmm, okay.
So, Honeywood, if you want a small hint,
Yeah.
the idea when solving this type of problem, the first question to ask yourself is where the white king will get mated.
Right.
And the second question is which will be the black piece that delivers mate to the white king and where from. And with these two questions, if you find out the proper answer, you can get some idea how the mating position will look like.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, the only thing is that is a bit tough because there is a black pawn which can promote to anything really. This black pawn on a2 can promote to any piece, and I would presume that is the one giving checkmate. But then again, I couldn't be sure. Maybe this black pawn on c3 has some role in capturing d2 or b2. I also see that there's two solutions, yeah? So, hmm, okay. I haven't brushed these to be honest because I haven't solved such problems in quite some time, and the word for opera I've mainly not been solving, but actually checking it whether it's correct or it's up to the standard. So I've never actually solved it in recent times. Okay, so perhaps I think a viable checkmating position for the king could be on a1, but to get there in two moves would be impossible, yeah, because the c3 pawn would have to vacate, and perhaps there's a checkmate on there's a promotion on a1, then the king moves to b1, but yeah, that seems a bit too far-fetched. So I would think that there's a promotion on A1, which is a checkmate. So my first idea is that maybe a piece comes to A1, maybe a piece comes to B1 to give the checkmate. Like, uh, okay, this is still very tough. I know you did say this is the easiest one, but for a person like you, this might be very, very easy. But yeah, for a commoner like me, this might be way too difficult.
So basically, when you see the white king where it is, first you should start thinking, can I give mate to the white king where it stays? The first question you should ask.
Mm.
So once you find out that the king cannot be get mated on the field where it stays, then you should consider some alternate square. But first, look where if you can get the king mated there. And then, if there are very, very few possibilities of movements for black, then you can also consider the possibility of delivering mate by Zugzwang, not by force, not by checking moves by white.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
these are the things you should keep on your mind when trying to solve this problem.
yeah, I mean, the thing was the Zugzwang idea, I tried to do it, like when something like this happened and the B2 square is covered, black's only move is to play rook A1, but, ooh, this could be tough. Perhaps it's something like a rook goes to B4, and then there's a promotion, the rook goes back to B1, something like this, but again, now white is supposed to play a move such that black is forced to give checkmate, and something like maybe rook a1, but then black could go king b4. It's not forced to take the rook. So, nope, that doesn't work either. I think the main thing is that if black is going to promote here, like the white king must either move out of the way or something must come in its way. And which seems to be a bit tough, actually. So, and there can never be zugzwang with just the pawn on a2 because the pawn can promote to anything. It's not forced to promote to a rook or a queen, so it can promote to any piece at once, and so there will be no like a help selfmate there. Uh, okay.
To encourage you, I would say that the black pawn must promote in rook in one of the solutions. So that is a good idea to promote the black pawn into a rook.
Right.
Now, you have to think a little bit how the mating position would look like. So if you can imagine, as if you solve, for instance, a longer helpmate, try to find out which will be the final configuration, the final mating configuration, and then check if it is possible to reach it.
Okay. Well, first I will say, okay, you've given a hint that there's a rook promotion, right? So the a1 equals rook is happening somewhere. And for that to happen, there's two options. Either the white king goes to d1, something like this, and then knight c1. But this, I think, just doesn't seem viable enough because then after one move away black, then white has to play something that will cover this e2 and e1 blockade while also while forcing the black king to give checkmate. So I don't think that is possible. So
So
that should be,
try to keep the white king where it is. But
yeah.
and then
So another option could be going knight into c3 and then knight to b1. But the only thing is that I'm reluctant to do that because this black pawn on c3 could prove useful in covering b2 and d2. Unless we cover d2 with the rook. Oh, okay, okay. This is good. So this is one solution, yeah? Um, so knight into c3, a1 equals to rook, knight b1 check. Now black is forced to play king a2. White plays rook to d2, and now black has no other option but to take this b1 knight, which is checkmate. And so, okay, yeah, fine. That's an interesting solution because I would have never actually thought of taking this pawn on c3 because I thought it's important for the checkmate, but it's not. Uh, right, right. Okay, well that's one solution gone. Uh, but there's one more to find. And I would presume the both solutions are linked together somehow. Hmm.
now you have to think, what if I put you on your hat,
Yeah.
composer's hat, and think, if I would be the composer of this composition, what I would choose to show? What kind of second promotion of the black pawn I would choose?
So I would presume because, composers love the orthogonal, diagonal thing. So transformation, you would promote to a bishop, but it could be a queen as well. No, I would presume it's a bishop. Yeah, I mean, bishop just seems more likely. So I have to then think, how could a bishop checkmate the white king on c1? And okay, well, it has to be bishop b2. Unless the white king moves to a1, maybe like. But again, I think I discarded that possibility earlier. Yeah, because it will take way too much time to get to a1, and there's only three moves for us. So, um, hmm. So what would the checkmating position be like? So I would presume maybe there's a so bishop b2 checkmate. If we're envisioning that type of position, then we would need a cover on b1 and on d1. So for d1, I guess the rook could come in handy, and b1, I guess the knight would come in, or maybe the black king would. Okay, maybe both solutions are linked by Zugzwang, and so there's no checks involved, but rather black is forced to play bishop a1. So let's go for like rook b1 and then a1 bishop. Next move black plays is king a2, yeah? So how do I force it? Okay, so next move is king a2, and then bishop b2 checkmate is the only move. So for that, I would have to cover a3, and the way I should do it is knight d4, knight b5. And now black has no option, can't move the king anywhere. It has to play bishop b2 checkmate. Right. Okay, this is really nice. I didn't actually think there would be so much unity between the two solutions because, frankly, I thought that, there's a rook and a knight and like with such a miniature setting, how could there be such nice unity? But there is. Both times the black king goes to a2. There's a repetition of move, but I guess it's all right because in one solution it goes bishop a1, bishop b2, and the other one the rook promotes and rook takes b1 happens. And okay, that's lovely. And the nice thing is that in one solution the pawn is captured, in one it's not. One, like he could specifically capture the pawn to go to b5, but white cannot do that since the king could go to d2. Okay, this is lovely. Yeah, this is a lovely problem.
Yes, this problem has been given also in a solving competition in Latvian chess championship, solving chess championship.
Okay.
And there were lots of solvers who managed to solve this problem. That's why I said it's a solving gambling problem. And it's a very good introduction for self-mates. And it's not very easy, even if it is a miniature, because you have to think of giving made by just bank, which is not quite often encountered in direct problems, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little bit tricky. But once you find a solution, it seems very natural and very simple to solve.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah, it's a great problem. It's quite, at first, you may not think that this would be the solution. It's a bit paradoxical in sense. And okay, yeah, that's the first problem done. And let's move on to the second one, shall we?